Yo, what's up everybody? It's your boy Floss, back again with another video. And today we're going to do the real review for the LG G6. Now I'm going to start off by going on record and saying this is LG's best phone to date, period. Pound for pound, this is the best phone that LG has ever made. Now after that would be the V20, then the G5, then the V10, and everything else. So where does this phone rank in my top 5 Android phones? I'm placing it at number 2. Number 1, the Pixel XL. This is still the smoothest and most reliable Android phone that I got. Number 2, LG G6. The wide angle camera is my favorite feature. Number 3, Moto Z Droid. The Moto mods, still my favorite phone accessory. Number 4, I'm going with the Galaxy S7 Edge. Now, once the S8 and the S8 Plus comes out, I have to update the list, but right now this is still a heavy hitter. And number 5, believe it or not, the Huawei P10. Portrait mode on this phone is only second to iPhone 7's. This is a beast. Then after that, we got the Mate 9, the V20, the HTC 10, and the G5, and all of the rest of the Android heavy hitters. Now, y'all know they don't call me Petty Roosevelt for nothing. Just like every other phone that I review, there's always going to be some things that I don't like. So we'll talk about that first, then we'll get into everything that I do like. Shout out to Xerxes, popped up out of the cut. Let me see, you got the white shoes on, Xerx? All right, I see you. Number 1, no removable battery. Now, some people are going to argue and say that all of the new flagship phones are coming out without removable batteries. Yeah, that's not a big deal. But from a company like LG, who is basically known for having the last removable batteries on phones, that's kind of a disappointment. Now, if you're a power user, you know there's nothing better than swapping out a battery and going from 0 to 100. Nothing beats that. Now, the next best option, the Moto mods. All right, this is a really slim battery pack, doesn't add too much extra thickness, and you get double the battery percentage. But after that, you're going to have to walk around with a portable battery charger, or you're going to have to get yourself one of these battery charge cases. That's more money that you got to spend. All right, so no removable battery. I don't like that. Number 2, speaking of battery, this phone has a 3300 milliamp battery, which is right on par with a lot of the other flagship phones that's coming out right now, but it's not enough. All right, this phone should have been, I would say, 36 to 4,000 milliamps to push it over the top. With my battery testing and the way that I use my phones, I'm a power user. I'm getting about 3.5 to 4 hours worth of screen on time, and sometimes even less than that when I'm outdoors and I'm using the phone on maximum brightness, getting all my emails, Facebook, Twitter, I'm on YouTube all day, getting around 3 to 3.5 hours. So the battery life, not the best in the world. Next, no IR blaster. Again, this is another feature that LG was known for having, and if you take a look at the G5, doesn't take up that much space on the top of the phone. And once you have it, you have access to quick remote. Now, this is one of the most underrated features on any phones, the IR blaster. This is such a disappointment to me. I love quick remote. All right, so I don't like the fact that there's no IR blaster. Next, no headphones. Now, the phone does have a headphone jack. That's a plus. But when you're buying a brand new phone, especially a phone that costs over $500 or even over $400, look at companies like Apple, look at Huawei, look at Samsung. You get a set of free headphones. Now, I call it free, but you're paying for that with the price. But still, I want those headphones. I might not never use them, but I want them. Next, now this is one of those region-specific features, no hi-fi deck. Now, I'm in the USA, so I'm making USA phone reviews. And the USA version, you don't have the hi-fi deck. Now, if you're in the Asian markets, that's another story. But in the USA, no hi-fi deck. Now, if you got a V20 and you go into the G6, you're going to be disappointed if you're using your headphones. Now, as far as the sound quality coming from the headphones, it sounds good. It sounds the same as any other phone, but it doesn't sound like the V20. And it doesn't sound like the HTC 10. Phones that have hi-fi decks, you're going to sound better with your music. Next, fingerprint sensor on the back. Now, this is one of the things that I hate about this phone, and I hate about any phone that has a fingerprint sensor on the back. It's just not the best placement. and especially on a phone like this. Now, 9 times out of 10, when you go somewhere, you put your phone down like this. So once the back of your phone starts getting dirty and you start getting smudges and dirt, the fingerprint sensor is going to stop working. It's going to stop working fluently. Like, it'll still work. I'm going to wipe it down right now. But once it gets wet or it gets a lot of dirt, you're going to have trouble with that fingerprint sensor. So I hate having the fingerprint sensor on the back. Next, no dual speakers. Now, a lot of phones are coming out that don't have dual speakers. I understand that. But then you got a lot of phones like the iPhone 7 that have a speaker on the bottom and another speaker in the earpiece. Same thing on the HTC phones. You have no idea how much of a big difference that makes. Now, if you never heard that before, go somewhere and try it out for yourself. Play a phone like the LG G6, play some music, and then play the same song on your iPhone 7 that has speaker on the bottom and that little speaker in the earpiece. Not the loudest speaker, but it just makes you have that dual speaker kind of sound to it. It's not going to be extra bass and it's going to sound crazy, but it's going to sound louder. And when you got your speaker on the bottom, when you're holding the phone in landscape mode, there's a chance that you're going to cover up the speaker. So I don't like that placement. I do like it better than putting the speaker on the back of the phone, but they should have had the dual speaker setup. Next. Now, this phone only comes in 32 gigs of storage. If you're not a heavy user and you're not a media savage, that might not be a big deal because you do have an SD card slot for expandable memory. But 64 should be the minimum storage on a flagship phone. That should be the minimum storage that you're going to get is 64. No more 32 and definitely no more 16. Shout out to Apple for getting rid of that 16 gig. That was some bullshit. Next, no portrait mode on the camera. Now, that's another huge disappointment for me because you got the dual camera setup. The camera on this phone is ridiculous, but portrait mode is amazing. That's my new favorite feature on any phones. So 9 times out of 10, shout out to Xerxes, killing me. 9 times out of 10, when I'm pulling out my phone to take a picture, especially if it's a selfie or if it's something like I want to get a nice picture of Xerx, then you're going to see me using the P10 or the iPhone 7 because of portrait mode. All right, that's one of my favorite features. Look out, Xerx. All right, so no portrait mode on the camera. That's a little bit of a letdown. Next. Now, the G6 does feature app scaling because you got that 16:9 ratio display. But one of the apps that you can't scale as of right now, they might do a software update, is YouTube. So when you're watching YouTube videos, you're going to get those black bars. And I'll show you what they look like. That's kind of annoying for me. Not the biggest deal. You know, I'm being petty right now, but I don't like seeing those black bars when I'm watching the video, especially you got this long, narrow screen. It would have looked dope if the whole screen was showing in the video. Next, Snapdragon 821. Now, performance-wise, that's not the biggest deal. We know that there's a newer version of the Snapdragon out on the Galaxy phones. That's cool. But if you're buying this phone as your main phone, this is going to be your flagship, your heavy hitter, your go-to phone for the next year or two, then you're trying to want to buy a phone. You want to buy a phone that's kind of future-proof. Right, that's what I was trying to say. You want to buy a phone that's kind of future-proof. It's the same way if you're going out right now, you saved up all your money, and you're getting ready to buy a brand new car. Do you want to go out and buy a 2017 or 2016? They might look identical. They might be the same speed and all that. But you already know the 2017 is going to have a little bit more bells and whistles, a little bit more updates, newer technology. And it's the same thing with the phones. Newer technology processors available. If you're buying this phone and it's going to be your phone for 2 years, you might want to go out with the latest and greatest, which would be the Galaxy S8. Now, a lot of people have been asking me, am I going to review that phone? The answer is yes. S8 and S8 Plus. I ordered both of them from Samsung. They haven't shipped yet. Once they come in, you'll see it right here. Now, the last thing I don't like about this phone, I got to be petty, it's a fingerprint magnet. All right, this is definitely a fingerprint magnet. As much as I love the build quality, if you're rocking this phone without a case, it's going to get super dirty and it's going to look like trash. So you're going to have to walk around with the microfiber cleaning cloth and keep wiping it down if you want that unbelievably beautiful shine to it. And again, all the fingerprints on the back, once you start getting smudges on your fingerprint sensor, it's going to stop the quality a little. All right, it's going to stunt the quality of your fingerprint sensor. All right, so this is a slippery phone. All right, super slippery and super fingerprint magnet. Now, you do got little sharp chamfered edges, so it's a little bit easier to hold. You know, it might not pop out of your hand so fast, but it is slippery. Come on, Zerks, back up a little. Look at Zerks trolling you. Anyway, all right, now, that's everything that I don't like about the phone. Now let's get into everything that I do like. Number one, the price. The price is right. All right, shout out to Bob Barker. The price is right. US cellular version, $550. You could go online and actually find some people selling them for $500 even. That's the right price for a flagship phone in 2017, especially when you got all of these other mid-range phones that's out that could pretty much keep up with all of the new flagships. $500, the price is right. So shout out to LG, y'all did it right. Now, for my Galaxy S8, I paid $750, and my S8 Plus, I paid, I think, $850. That price is wrong. So the price is right on this phone. Number two, build quality. In my opinion, this is one of the things that make this LG's best phone is the build quality. All right, now I dropped this phone twice already with no case. You can't even see any damage. Look at the beautiful, let me shine this up so y'all get the full effect. Listen to Xerxes purring. Xerxes approves this phone. When you hear Xerxes purring like that, that means she's feeling this phone. Look at that shine. This is, in my opinion, the sexiest phone that I got right now. Now, second to that would be the S7. And once I get the S8, we'll see. But right now, this glass back, y'all know how I feel about glass back phones. It just looks amazing and it feels so good in the hands, ladies. You know the procedures. Build quality on this. This is a win. Next, let's talk about the display. Now, y'all know how I feel about AMOLED versus IPS panels. Let's take it to the home screen real quick. You got your IPS display with mega PPIs. All right, now I'm not going to turn this into a spec review. Y'all already know those specs. You got a lot of PPIs on this. The display is beautiful. All right, this is kind of making me change my thoughts on IPS panels. Let's see what my brightness level is at. Okay, almost maximum brightness. You get good viewing angles in the sun. I think you get better with AMOLED panels. I'm pretty sure the S8 is going to look better, but we'll see. But as of right now, I'm definitely feeling the display. And if you're going to get this phone, get the black version. All right, now shout out to my nephew. He got the silver one. On the silver one, you could actually see a black line going around the phone. Now, you can't see that on the black version. It kind of looks bezel-less, and I like that. Now, some people was complaining about the bezels on this phone. If you think this is a big bezel, you haven't seen big bezel phones. All right, let me show you a quick difference. Look at the bezel on this one. All right, now I use a black wallpaper so you can barely see it. But let me pull up a different phone. Look at the bezel on this, on the Moto Z. That's a big bezel. This is a small bezel. Now, granted, fingerprint sensor on the front, you're going to have more bezel. So if I had to choose, I'd rather have more bezel and fingerprint sensor on the front, like how the P10. This is why the P10 is killing it. Fingerprint sensor on the front. We'll talk about this phone later. Back to the G6. So display on this, 5.7 inches. I'm feeling it. Nothing to complain about with the display. Next, always on display. Now, this is one of my favorite features. This is a software feature, so I don't see why all of these other phones don't copy this. This is one of the best features. And right now, this is probably tied with Samsung with their always on display. This is one of my favorites. But with this one, you do have the option to make it brighter. It will kill some of your battery. But what good is having always on display that you can't see? So a lot of people were saying always on display is kind of gimmicky. But if you like me and you got a nice desktop setup, this is what you want to see in your desk. All right, so this way when I'm doing my work, all I got to do is glance up. I can see all my notifications. I can see the date, the time. And if I do get a notification, you'll see it pop up. So this way, if I don't have my watch paired up to the phone, I can just glance over and see that I'm getting notifications. Oh, and shout out to this watch face. If y'all like this watch face, hit me up in the comments. I'll throw the link on this one. This is one of my favorite watch faces. You double tap. You can change the color on this. This is pretty lit. All right, so always on display, one of my favorite features. Next, the phone is finally waterproof. Now, when I say waterproof, y'all know I mean water resistant. We're not going to keep rehashing that. The phone is IP68 water and dust resistant. Now, I got a video on Instagram if y'all want to check it out, where I got the phone submerged for about 5 minutes underwater, picked it back up, no problems. That's an important feature for me because I'm always outside. So now when it starts raining, I don't have to start worrying about is my phone going to get damaged. And I can just go crazy with it in the summertime, at the pool, at the beach, doing whatever I do, all of the water sports. Now you're getting all your pictures, all your memories going to be saved up. You don't have to worry about having a water resistant case. And y'all know those water resistant cases, they cost a lot. A good waterproof case is going to run you about 50, 60 bucks. So if your phone is waterproof by default, then that's a win. Next, now you do have your micro SD card slot for expandable memory. Now that's pretty good since the phone only has 32 gigs. If you're taking a lot of 4K video, watch how fast that 32 gigs will disappear. Now, nowadays, I don't even really download too many apps. I probably still got the same 150 apps for the last couple of years. Every now and then I might get a few new ones, but it's not really apps that eat up all my memory. It's pictures and video, especially 4K video. So having a micro SD card slot for expandable memory is a win. Next, wireless charge. Now, y'all hear me be picky about this all the time. Some call it petty. But if you get yourself a Samsung fast wireless charge, now you can use your LG G6 and wirelessly charge it. So it's not just displaying the phone, I'm actually charging it. So that's a 2 for the price of 1. Now I got my always on display and wireless charge. All I got to do is run a cable, and this is how it's going to look on my desktop. My phone is being displayed and charged up. Now, if I'm watching YouTube videos, have it just like this, maximum brightness, maximum everything, and it'll be charging up wirelessly. Now, for all y'all cats that think wireless charge is a gimmick, try it first, all right? Try it before you complain or before you talk shit. Use it first and then come back and talk. Next, battery, all right? 3,300 milliamp battery, 3,300 milliamp battery. That features quick charge. Now, one of the things I don't like was the battery life, but one of the things that I do like is the quick charge 3.0. This is one of those shit shower and shave phones. And if you don't know what I mean by that, you get home from work, your phone battery's on 33%, plug it in. All right. Now, if you got fast wireless charge, you could do that too, but it's not going to be as fast as the wired connection. Plug it in, take that shit, take a shower, go shave, get your clothes ready, get that peanut butter and jelly sandwich, make some ramen noodles, and by the time you're ready to walk out the door, your phone will be on 100%. So that's one of the features that I'm feeling about this phone. Every phone that comes out right now has to have quick charge. That's one of the industry standards now. So if you're buying a phone and it doesn't have quick charge, don't buy it. Next, the camera. Now, the camera, in my opinion, is what makes this phone. And not just the camera, but the wide angle camera. Now, you do got some motions and gestures. We'll talk about that in a minute. If you want, you could double tap volume down, and that's your world star button. All right, that's if you want to take a quick picture, bang, just like that. But let me show you something about the camera. Let's go to, I got to unlock the phone first. All right, let's go to camera. Now, from the camera settings, one of the best features, now that you got, come on, Zerks, chill. Now that you got this extra long display, now you got your picture gallery right on the side. So that's kind of dope. Now you could just breeze through all your pictures. I'm doing this from looking at my viewfinder. And you have your screen right here. Now, two features that I like about this one. Now, we're not going to go into all of the camera features, but one of them is square. Square is pretty dope because now when you take a picture, you get a preview of that picture, full size, right next to your camera. So this is kind of cool if you want to take something that's important and you want to make sure that you're getting the right angle. I want to get a picture of Xerxes' white shoes. Take that picture, and I got the white shoes right here. I can just zoom it in and look at the pictures. Am I going to have to give Xerx something to play with? Because she's trolling a little bit too hard. All right. She just bounced. All right, let's take this. Let's start. Yeah, y'all know. Live videos, no editing. The struggles continue. All right, so you got your square camera. Take your picture and then zoom in, play with it, Look at all your pictures. Now let's go to mode real quick. You got snapshot, grid shot, matte shot, and guide shot. Now guide shot is kind of dope too. Say you get some new jewelry or a nice watch and you take a picture of it and you want to take that exact picture again. When you use guide shot, it's going to give you a little template, and this way you can take the same picture basically twice. All right, because you know a lot of times you get that picture and one of the pictures look nice and the next one is a little bit off. You wish you could go back in time and take that picture again without doing burst shots. Now you got square. Now let me show you wide angle lens, and let me show you why this is the best feature on this phone. Here's a picture that I took up in my office using the wide angle lens, using a regular. All right, this is the regular angle. Now you can see 3 computers. You can see some of the TV. Now swipe over once. This is in full wide angle mode. You could see the whole TV. You could pretty much see the whole corner of the office. That's from wide angle. That's from just pressing one button. All right, let me show you. So say I'm taking the picture right here. This is regular. Okay, let's hit wide angle. Bang. Look how much more picture you're going to get. Now, when does that come into play? When you're taking group photos or you're taking car photos. Shout out to everybody that's into the cars and the bikes and all that. When you're taking those photos and you want to get as much into that photo as you can, use the wide angle lens. That's the best feature about this camera. Now, other than that, you do got some other cool features too. You got full manual mode. Let's put it in manual. You got full manual mode. Change the autofocus, the white balance. Change everything up. You got the same thing in video. So you got manual mode in picture and video. And you also got 2 mics that you can control the settings. All right, so hi-fi recordings. So camera on this phone, now it's not going to be a big camera review. I mean, picture quality in the daytime, perfect. Nighttime, low light photos, still not the best in the world. Not beating the Pixel, not beating the iPhone, but nothing to complain about with the camera. And for me, I would buy it just for that wide angle alone. Just that one feature is enough that I would buy this phone. Next, customization. Now, this is one of the most customizable phones. A lot of people don't really like LG's skins, but me personally, like I said, this is LG's best phone. This is one time where LG's skin doesn't impede the performance of the phone. So having this big, heavy skin, y'all know the LG skins is always super colorful and vibrant. You got a lot of features. This one is no different. You got your LG themes. You could download as many as you want. Change the icons. Change the size. Fully customizable. All right, you could change the scrolling effects. Let's go to, you could change the home buttons, change the combinations, change the colors. Fully customizable phone. A lot of these features that are built into LG's stock UI, these are features that we used to have to root the phones to get some of those features. Different effects when you're scrolling and all that. You had to root the phone. Now you can do that with the stock settings. All right, so this is a fully customizable phone. I'm feeling the skin. Not my favorite skin by far, but I'm feeling it. No complaints. Next, now you do got some motions and gestures. All right, so you got your double tap to awake the screen. Look at this little animation. I don't know if y'all can see that. It's kind of dark. You see that little square animation? That looks kind of cool. Now, if you go to your home screen. Oh, I didn't even know I set that fingerprint button. You got your apps on the bottom. Now you can customize these too. So now say I wanted to go straight to Instagram. I just swipe up to put my fingerprint code in and it'll take me right to Instagram. Then from Instagram, I can start getting my scroll on. And let's see. There's a shortage of buns today. All right, let me go ahead and like that. Might have to go ahead and screenshot that later. All right, but anyway, you get the idea. So from the home screen, you got your apps on the bottom. Double tap to awake, double tap to sleep. You got your World Star button. Double tap that. That'll take you to your camera. And you also have your quick memo. So now if I double tap, let me turn this off. If I double tap volume up, if I want to take a quick memo, phone number real quick, write that down and go ahead and save that if I want. Change the colors, play with it, do what you want. So you got a bunch of motions and gestures. Not as many as Samsung with all the twisty and shakies and all that, gimmicky stuff. That's a good thing and a bad thing, because sometimes the more gimmicky features, that will slow down the OS. So this one, they got just enough. All right. But the ones that I use the most is double tap and the World Star button. Let's wipe it down. Next, the speaker. Now you got that one speaker on the bottom. I'll do a little speaker test so y'all can hear it for yourself. Let's take it to YouTube. One little speaker on the bottom, but it is clean and it sounds nice. All right, doesn't really distort.
For a long time.
And this is what I was telling y'all about the black lines. All right, while watching the video. You see now I'm using a black wallpaper, so you can't really tell too much, but you can see some black lines in the video. I'm trying to get to a point of the video where there's some actual action. Shout out to Combat Cup Season 2. Let's see. Any day now. Now I'm actually connected to my Wi-Fi upstairs, so that's probably why it's going a little bit slower. But you see the black lines? Look at all that extra screen space. How dope would this be if it was full screen? Now here's the speaker.
Is the scariest thing in this game next to Katana's X-Ray. Okay, that is so hard to scout out.
All right, so the speaker on this, pretty good. But the display, man, the display is so beautiful. If they update this, where you could actually app scale this and get rid of those black lines, this is going to be one of the best YouTube experiences on any phone. Let's keep it moving. What we got next? Google Assistant. All right, you got your Google Assistant built in.
I'm your Google Assistant.
All right.
I can help you find what you need.
Y'all already know about Google Assistant. Now, it was kind of dope when this was one of the only phones that had it, besides the Pixel and maybe one or two other phones. But now pretty much all of the Android 7.1 or whatever number they up to now, Nugget. All right, anybody that got Android Nugget, you should be able to get Google Assistant. Don't quote me on that.
Hi.
But most of my phones is running Android 7.0 or 7.1 Nugget. Shout out to the Nugget squad. Now, for y'all cats that don't know, I'm saying Nugget on purpose. All right, if you got Android Nougat on your phone and you want to get Android Nugget, hit me up in the comments. I'll show you how to get Nugget. All right, if you're stuck with Nougat, don't be mad. You could get Nugget too. What else? Processor. Snapdragon 821, not the newest one in the world. No lag on this. All right, no lag on this phone, which is such a night and day experience from using the G5. If you got a G5, should you upgrade and get a G6? The answer is yes. Definitely. Definitely. One of the things I hated about the G5 is the little stutters and the little lags here and there. Same thing on the V20. You get a little stutters, a little lags, fingerprint sensor, kind of choppy. They did it right on this phone. All right, so no lag. Phone is nice and smooth, and your multitasking works great. All right, so let's open up something. Let's go to Google G+. So you got your multitasking, nice and smooth.
That's 32%
so
gone
watching
in
videos,
a couple of seconds. Getting hit by the pedigree,
watching videos, and scrolling through Google Plus at the same time.
Adds up so fast.
All right, so no lag on this. Now, you do get a little hiccup when you switch in if you're watching a video, but it's not the worst. All right, so no lag on this phone. Everything works super smooth. Gaming. Now, a lot of people ask me to test gaming. I just can't. I can't get into playing games on the cell phone, especially if I got a PS Vita. It's hard for me to really play games. Now, the games that I do play, Angry Birds and Subway Surfer and all that, they run fine. And they pretty much run fine on any new Android phone. So gaming, I don't really, I can't really talk on that too much. But as far as the lag factor from having a whole bunch of apps open at the same time, no lag. All right, so don't get discouraged because it doesn't have the latest version of Snapdragon. You don't need that. All right, I want it, but I don't need it. Next, accessories. Now, that's something important we got to talk about. When you're buying your new phone, if you plan on keeping it for 2 years, what's the accessories like? Well, shout out to LG. All right, they do got some LG accessories, but this is not the most accessory-heavy phone. So if you notice, companies like Spigen and Caseology and UAG, they do got cases, but there's always going to be more variety for something like a Galaxy S7, S8, and something like an iPhone. But you do got a nice variety of accessories. This is definitely not like the Huawei Mate 9. You get a Mate 9, you really only got a few choices of cases. Most of them is some cheap bullshit. Well, you got a good variety of cases with this. Got all the speaking, VRS, UAG, Incipio, Caseology. Got a bunch of cases for this. All right, so your accessory game is on point. Now, last but not least, the floss factor. What's the floss factor on this phone? Now, if you don't know what floss factor is, that means you pull out your G6, somebody pulls out their Galaxy S7 Edge, somebody pulls out the Pixel, somebody pulls out the Moto Z Droid, here come a dude with the V20, your man got the Mate 9, his girl got the HTC 10. Y'all sitting at a table and all of these phones is out and you got your G6. Where do you fit in on the food chain? And I would say very high. All right? You almost a lion in the phone game if you got the G6. The look of this phone, just the look alone, this is one of the sexiest phones. When you pull this phone out and the sunlight reflects off the back of this phone and you got the back, let me just make sure it's properly laced up. You got the back of your phone with the proper amount of shine and the sunlight reflects, you will definitely blind somebody. All right, this phone looks like water. All right, it looks wet. This phone always looks wet even when it's dry. All right, so this is a definite go on the floss factor. Not to mention, it is water resistant, so you can drop this in the pool. You got your wireless charge, so you can have this on your dope desktop setup. Floss factor on this, through the roof. Right now, there's only one phone that I can see that looks better, and that's the Galaxy S8 Plus. I haven't held it in hand yet. I know they got it in the stores and all that, but I want to get mine in hand. And when I do my unboxing, I want the experience to be natural. I don't really know too much about the phone, just the specs and all of that. But I want to see if I'm going to get that same wow factor that I got with the G6. When you first hold this in your hand, you're going to be blown away. All right, the bezel-less display, if you want to call it that, minimum bezels. You got minimum bezels on this. Feels good in the hands, and it looks sexy. You're just going to have to keep wiping the shit down. But it's a go. Now, my advice would be wipe it down, one good wipe down, and then get yourself a nice case. All right, it's a lot easier to wipe the case down than to wipe the phone down. So anyway, LG G6 on a scale of 1 to 10, this is a major go. Like I said, it's my second favorite Android phone, only behind the Pixel XL, until I get the S8 and the S8 Plus. Now, on a side note, everybody that was asking me about the Huawei P10 giveaway, that giveaway is still on, and it's going to be on until Saturday night, when I'm going to do a little live stream. Either Saturday or Sunday night, I'm going to do a live stream and announce the winner. Now, I'm going to do the live stream and announce the winner. Hopefully, we're going to get the winner to call in, and we'll let them know they won in person. All right? Shout out to Xerxes. Let's get out of here. Shout out to everybody rocking with me on Facebook, Foursquare, Twitter, Google+. Shout out to all the Google gangsters. I see y'all holding down that Facebook page. Shout out to everybody hitting me up on Voxer. And a special shout out to everybody rocking with me on Instagram. Y'all know that's where I'm at full time, 100% full throttle. And a special shout out to everybody rocking with the new stream on Sundays. Y'all already know, Stream Gangsters on deck. Get your drinks ready. No meat boys allowed. Oh yeah, special shout out to everybody following me on Snapchat, Flossy_Carter, that's where I'm at. And a special shout out to the notification squad. I see y'all in the comment section early, #salute. Shout out to Team Xerxes. Oh yeah, one more thing, I almost forgot. Fellas, ladies, say it with me. All y'all haters, all y'all trolls, close your eyes and picture me rolling. It's your boy Floss, I'm out. Deuces. Spock, run the beam up. Energize.